Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. They paraded their armada until Earth's Rustbucket fleet wiped them out. First contact and ultimatum. The skies above Earth rippled like disturbed water. It wasn't visible to the naked eye, but every sensor array on the planet and in orbit suddenly flared with warnings. Captain Maya Chen stared at the holographic display in Earth's Orbital Defense Command as 16 massive vessels materialized in perfect formation just beyond lunar orbit. Status report, she demanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline now flooding her system. Lieutenant Patel's fingers flew across his console. 16 unknown vessels, Captain, each approximately 3 kilometers in length. Energy readings are massive. They're putting out more power than our entire Pacific fleet combined. Weapons? Chen asked, already knowing the answer but needing to hear it anyway. Scanning indicates multiple weapon systems, configuration unknown, but there's no mistaking their purpose. Patel looked up, his face pale. They're warships, Captain. Chen nodded once, her short black hair barely moving with the motion. At 42, she'd served in Earth's United Defense Force for over 20 years, rising through the ranks during humanity's expansion into the solar system. But in all that time, they'd never encountered another intelligent species, until now. Alert Admiral Kia and the Security Council, and someone get me everything we know about possible first contact scenarios. She turned to her XO, Commander Jackson. Deploy the defense grid, but keep weapons cold, no provocative actions. Yes, Captain, Jackson replied, already relaying orders. The massive alien fleet held position, making no move to approach closer, but their presence was unmistakable, a sword hanging over humanity's head. 3 minutes later, every communication system on Earth simultaneously received the same transmission. The main view screen in the command center flickered, and an alien figure appeared. The being had a vaguely humanoid shape, but with copper-colored skin that appeared to be composed of overlapping plates. Four eyes, arranged in a diamond pattern, regarded them with what Chen instinctively recognized as contempt. People of the third planet, the alien began, its voice translated into perfect, accentless English. I am High Commander Vorix of the Curvash Imperium. Your system now falls within our designated expansion territory. Chen felt her stomach tighten as the alien continued. We have observed your civilization and determined you possess technologies of interest. Your options are simple: immediate surrender and integration into the Imperium as a vassal species, or immediate demonstration of why we should reconsider. You have 12 of your Earth hours to decide. The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the command center in stunned silence. Well, Commander Jackson said, attempting to sound confident despite his ashen face, at least they're giving us options. Chen didn't smile. Get me the Security Council, now. 6 hours later, Chen sat in the underground facility beneath Geneva that served as Earth's unified government headquarters. The room was filled with the highest-ranking military and political leaders on the planet, all of them ashen-faced as they reviewed the situation. Our entire defense fleet couldn't take down even one of those ships, Admiral Kia said grimly. The aging Japanese officer had overseen humanity's military expansion into space. Their technology appears to be at least a century beyond ours, Secretary General Alvarez, the head of Earth's United Government, said, closing her eyes briefly. Options, people, I need options that don't include surrender. The room fell silent. Chen studied the holographic display showing the alien vessels. Each was a masterpiece of engineering, sleek despite their enormous size, with weapon ports arranged in patterns that spoke of centuries of naval combat experience. There is one possibility, said a quiet voice from the corner. All heads turned to see Director Zhang of Earth's Advanced Defense Research Division. The diminutive scientist was rarely seen at security meetings. Project Titan. Admiral Kia stiffened. That's classified beyond everyone in this room except 3 of us, and it's our only chance. Authorization code Zhang Echo 7721, Zhang replied. Secretary General Alvarez frowned but entered the code into her secure terminal. Her eyes widened as she read the resulting information. "This is real," she whispered. "Very real," Jiang nodded thinly. "And perhaps our only option. Would someone mind explaining what Project Titan is, to those of us without Omega-level clearance?" Chen asked, her patience wearing thin. Jiang manipulated the holographic display, and a new image appeared, a schematic that made Chen's eyes widen in disbelief. During the resource wars 30 years ago, Jiang explained, Earth's nations were on the brink of destroying each other. In secret, the 8 major powers began collaborating on a mutual insurance policy, a defense system so powerful that it would ensure nobody could gain absolute victory. The schematic expanded, showing impossible details. But the peace accords were signed before it was completed. By then, the project had consumed trillions in resources, Admiral Kia continued. Rather than admit to their populations how much they'd spent on weapons during a global resource crisis, the governments agreed to complete the project in secret, and then forget about it. "You're telling me," Chen said slowly, "that Earth has some kind of superweapon system that nobody knows about?" "Not a weapon," Jiang corrected. "A fleet." The hologram expanded again, and Chen felt her jaw drop. The schematic showed hundreds of vessels, some larger than the alien ships currently threatening Earth, hidden in the asteroid belt. Automated shipyards have been quietly building and upgrading them for 3 decades, Jiang continued. The original planners knew that if humanity ever faced an extraterrestrial threat, conventional forces wouldn't be enough. But these ships. "They're nothing like our current fleet," Chen protested, studying the designs. "The technology looks alien." "Not alien," Jiang smiled thinly. "Just advanced. Project Titan operates on principles we discovered but never implemented in our public technology. The advances would have destabilized Earth's economy and power structures. The 8 powers decided some technologies were too disruptive to release publicly." Secretary General Alvarez stood up. "How quickly can this fleet be activated?" "That's the problem," Admiral Kia said grimly. "The system was designed with multiple fail-safes. It requires specific command codes from authorized personnel and direct neural interface from a commander with the right genetic markers. We've identified 23 potential candidates with the necessary genetic profile." Chen blinked in surprise as all eyes turned to her. "Me? Why me?" "Your grandmother was Admiral Lichen of the Pan-Asian Alliance," Jiang explained. "She was one of the original architects of Project Titan. The system is keyed to her genetic lineage, among others." Chen's mind reeled. Her grandmother had died when she was a teenager. They'd been close, but the older woman had never mentioned anything about a secret fleet. "If you refuse," Secretary General Alvarez said, "we'll ask the next candidate on the list." "How long do I have to decide?" Chen asked. "We have 5 hours remaining before the Curvash deadline," Admiral Kia said grimly. "If you accept, you need to leave within the hour to reach the command hub in time." Chen took a deep breath, then said, "I accept. But I want my crew, at least my key officers. If I'm going to command an unknown fleet against alien invaders, I want people I trust watching my back." Alvarez nodded. "Granted. Choose quickly." As the meeting broke up, Admiral Kia pulled Chen aside. "There's something else you should know," he said quietly. "Project Titan isn't just advanced, it's transformative." "Transforms you?" Chen asked, a chill running down her spine. "We don't know exactly," Kia said steadily. "The technology is partly based on the same principles that let the ships operate. Your grandmother theorized that command would require evolution." Chen stared at him. "You're asking me to connect my brain to an experimental system that might alter my DNA. I'm asking you to save humanity, Captain, by any means necessary." Chen held his gaze for a long moment, then nodded once. "My crew and I will be ready to depart in 30 minutes. The military shuttle screamed through space at velocities that would have been impossible just a decade ago, pushing its engines far beyond safety parameters. Inside, Captain Chen had assembled her core team: Commander Jackson, XO, Lieutenant Patel, Tactical Officer, Dr. Rice, Chief Medical Officer, and Chief Engineer Okafor, a genius with any system ever built by human hands. "Let me get this straight," Jackson said, reviewing their rushed briefing files. "We're headed to a secret base in the asteroid belt to activate a hidden fleet that might not even work, using technology that could potentially rewrite the captain's DNA, to fight an alien armada that outguns everything humanity has ever built." "That about covers it," Chen replied with forced calm. "And if this neural interface doesn't work?" Dr. Rice asked, concern evident. "Then Earth surrenders, or dies," Chen said simply. "And we probably die either way." The cabin fell silent as the enormity of their mission sank in. "Minutes to destination," the pilot announced over the comm. At first, nothing was visible but the normal scattering of asteroids. Then the pilot adjusted their course slightly, and gasps filled the cabin. Hidden within a cluster of asteroids floated an enormous station at least 10 kilometers across. Its surface was dotted with unmistakable docking ports and launch bays, and surrounding it in perfect formation hung hundreds of vessels of various sizes, dark, dormant hulls waiting for life. "My God," Jackson whispered. "Not just built," Chen replied, staring at the impossible fleet before them. "They've been improving it for 30 years. As the shuttle approached one of the docking bays, the enormity of what they were attempting began to sink in. They had less than 4 hours to activate a dormant fleet, master unfamiliar technology, and challenge an alien armada. "I hope you're watching, grandmother," Chen murmured, "because we're going to need a miracle." The shuttle glided into the cavernous docking bay, settling onto a landing pad with a gentle thud as the engines powered down. Captain Chen unbuckled her harness and stood. "Whatever happens next," she told her crew, "remember that we represent the best of humanity. If these curvos want to see what humans are capable of, we're going to show them." With those words, she led her team toward the airlock and whatever awaited them within the secret heart of Project Titan. Awakening and response. The interior of the Titan command hub was pristine, as if it had been cleaned just hours before rather than abandoned for decades. Soft lighting activated automatically as Chen and her team moved through the corridors, guided by directional indicators that appeared on the walls. "The entire station is run by a semi-autonomous AI," Engineer Okafor noted, examining a terminal they passed. "It's been maintaining everything all this time." "That level of AI was illegal under the Geneva Protocols," Jackson commented. "That's why it's out here and not on Earth," Chen replied. Director Zhang's briefing had mentioned that Project Titan operated beyond conventional legal frameworks. The corridor opened into a vast command center, unlike the cramped utilitarian design of Earth's military installations. This space was designed with elegance and efficiency. A central platform housed a single command chair, surrounded by workstations arranged in concentric circles. "Stations, everyone," Chen ordered. Her crew moved to the consoles matching their specialties while she approached the central chair. It was unlike any command seat she'd seen before. The sleek design featured neural interface nodes and medical monitoring equipment built directly into the structure. "Captain," Dr. Rice called, examining one of the displays. "According to this, the neural interface is extensive. It won't just link you to the command systems, it will temporarily alter your neural pathways to process information at accelerated rates." "Any indication of permanent effects?" Chen asked. Rice frowned. "The data suggests the changes reverse when the connection is severed, but there are no long-term studies." "We don't have time for long-term studies," Chen replied, settling into the chair. "We have less than 3 hours before the Curvash deadline." The chair adjusted to her body automatically. Interface nodes extended, touching the back of her neck, her temples, and her wrists. "Neural compatibility scan initiated," announced a calm feminine voice from the station systems. "Genetic marker identified," Chen lineage confirmed. "Welcome, descendant of Admiral Lai Chen." Chen felt a strange tingling where the nodes touched her skin. "What's happening?" The system is mapping your neural pathways, Okafor explained, watching data flow across his terminal. It's creating a custom interface. Compatibility confirmed. Warning, first-time neural interface may cause disorientation. Proceeding with connection in 3, 2, 1. Chen's world exploded into light and information. Her consciousness seemed to expand beyond her body, flowing through the station systems and beyond. Suddenly, she could feel the dormant fleet surrounding them, hundreds of vessels, each a masterpiece of engineering far beyond what humanity publicly acknowledged. Captain Jackson's voice seemed distant. "Can you hear me?" "Yes," Chen replied, her voice sounding strange to her own ears. "I can see everything, the fleet, the station, it's all part of me now." Through the interface, Chen accessed the full specifications of Project Titan. The ships weren't merely advanced, they represented an entirely different approach to space warfare. While the Curvos vessels relied on brute force and overwhelming firepower, these ships utilized technologies that bent space, manipulated gravity, and harnessed energy in ways Earth's public science considered theoretical. "The fleet is designed to work as a unified force," Chen explained, the knowledge flowing directly into her mind. Each ship was powerful, but together they formed a synchronous defense network greater than the sum of its parts. "Can you activate them?" Patel asked, monitoring the tactical systems. "I'm doing it now," Chen replied. Throughout the asteroid belt, the dormant vessels began to power up. Hulls that had appeared dark and lifeless now glowed with internal energy. Propulsion systems operated on principles beyond conventional physics, weapon systems reconfigured matter at the subatomic level, and everything charged silently. "Fleet activation at 30% and rising," Okafor reported. "These power readings are impossible," Patel exclaimed. "Not impossible," Chen corrected. "The knowledge flowing from the interface is just beyond our current understanding." The Titan project had incorporated technologies deemed too disruptive to release publicly. As her connection to the fleet strengthened, Chen's perception expanded further. She could feel and command each ship as an extension of her own body, directing hundreds of vessels simultaneously. "Fleet activation at 70%, Okafor announced. "At this rate, we'll be fully operational with an hour to spare." "Incoming transmission from Earth," Jackson called out. "The Curvos are getting impatient, they've moved their deadline up. We have less than an hour now." Chen processed this information with strange calm. The interface was dampening her emotional responses, optimizing her cognitive functions for command. "That's enough time," she said. "Begin moving the fleet into position. We need to be ready to respond the moment they make their move against Earth." Through her expanded awareness, Chen devised a strategy that leveraged the unique capabilities of the Titan fleet. Traditional battle formations wouldn't work, they needed to surprise the Curvos with tactics they couldn't anticipate. "Lieutenant Patel, send these tactical instructions to all vessels," she ordered. Patel studied the formations with widening eyes. "Captain, this isn't like anything in our manuals because it's designed specifically for these ships and this circumstance." "Trust me," Chen replied. "The interface is providing optimal strategies based on capabilities we haven't publicly developed." As the fleet moved into position, hidden among natural bodies of the solar system, Chen felt a strange certainty. The odds were still against them, 16 advanced alien warships against an untested human fleet. But they had the element of surprise. "Fleet in position," Jackson reported. "All systems operational." "Message from Earth," Patel announced. "The Secretary General is stalling the Curvos, but they're growing aggressive. 2 of their ships have moved into low Earth orbit as a show of force." Chen nodded. "Perfect. Send the recall code to Earth's conventional forces. I want them clear of what's about to happen." Dr. Rice approached the command chair, medical scanner in hand. "Your neural patterns are changing rapidly, heart rate, brain activity, even your cellular energy production is shifting. Is it dangerous?" Chen asked, already knowing the answer from the information flowing through the interface. "Not immediately," Rice admitted. But I've never seen anything like this. Your brain is processing information at rates that should be impossible, a necessary adaptation. Don't worry, Doctor, Chen said, smiling slightly. According to the system, the changes will reverse once I disconnect. She turned back to the mission. Commander Jackson, initiate Phase 1. High Commander Vorik stood on the bridge of the Kurvash flagship, contempt evident in all four of his eyes. The view screen showed Earth's pitiful defensive fleet retreating from orbit, clearly recognizing the futility of resistance. As expected, he told his officers, these humans recognize superior force when they see it. Their primitive vessels couldn't stand against even one of our scout ships. High Commander, his sensor officer called, we're detecting unusual energy readings from the asteroid belt. Vorik dismissed the concern with a wave. Probably mining operations. Our intelligence indicates the humans have been harvesting the asteroids for resources. These readings don't match mining signatures. They're increasing rapidly and spreading, the officer persisted. Before Vorik could respond, every communication system on his ship simultaneously activated. A human female appeared on the main view screen, seated in what was clearly a command chair unlike anything they'd observed in Earth's known technology. High Commander Vorik, she said, her voice calm and controlled. I am Captain Maya Chen of Earth's Titan Defense Force. Your ultimatum has been received, and rejected. Vorik sparked a laugh. With what force do you make such demands, human? We've observed your entire defensive capability, your ships are retreating even now. The human's expression didn't change. What you've seen is only what we wanted you to see. Allow me to introduce you to humanity's actual defense force. Sensors on Vorix's flagship suddenly blared warnings. Throughout the solar system, hundreds of vessels were appearing from hiding places among the asteroids, behind moons, and even from within the sun's corona, where no ship should have been able to survive. Impossible, Vorik whispered as the tactical display updated. The human vessels were like nothing in our records, some massive, dwarfing even my flagship, others small and agile, all exhibiting energy signatures that surpassed Kurvash technology. We've been studying your approach for weeks, Chen continued. We know your weapons, defenses, and tactical preferences. We know exactly how to counter each of them. 3 smaller human vessels suddenly appeared near one of the Kurvash ships that had moved to low Earth orbit. Before the alien vessel could react, the human ships generated an energy field that encased the warship completely. What is this? Vorik demanded as the trapped ship's communications went silent. A localized spacetime isolation field, Chen explained casually. Your ship now exists in a bubble of altered physics. It's unharmed, but effectively removed from this conflict. Vorik stared in disbelief as a second Kurvash vessel suffered the same fate. His tacticians shouted conflicting reports, gravitational manipulation, directed energy weapons ignoring conventional shielding, propulsion systems without conventional thrust. This is your only warning, Chen continued. The Kurvash Imperium will withdraw from Earth space immediately and acknowledge our sovereignty, or we will be forced to demonstrate our full capabilities. Vorik growled, pride stung by this unexpected resistance. All vessels, attack pattern dominance. Show these primitives the true power of the Imperium. The remaining Kurvash ships moved into attack formation, their weapon systems charging, but the Titan fleet was already responding, moving with impossible coordination as if directed by a single mind. From her neural interface, Chen perceived the battle in ways her human senses never could. She felt each ship as an extension of herself, directing them with thought alone. Their attack patterns are predictable, aggressive and powerful but lacking in subtlety, she informed her crew. Exactly as predicted. Implement countermeasures. The Titan fleet moved with perfect synchronization. Where the Kurvash expected resistance, they found empty space. When they fired, the human vessels shifted position with impossible speed or absorbed the energy through advanced defensive systems. One massive human ship, a dreadnought-class vessel nearly 5 kilometers long, positioned itself directly in front of Earth, a shield against any direct attack. Its defensive systems created a barrier that distorted space itself around the planet. Phase 2, Chen ordered. Through the solar system. Hidden installations activated. Satellites previously appearing to be simple communication relays revealed advanced weapon systems. Automated defense platforms emerged on moons and asteroids. The Kurvash fleet suddenly found itself surrounded, outgunned, and facing technologies they barely understood. Their flagship is attempting to retreat, Patel reported. 3 support vessels have been disabled by our gravity weapons. Chen nodded. Target their propulsion systems only. We want to disable, not destroy. The battle, if it could even be called that, lasted less than 15 minutes. The Kurvash fleet, which had arrived with overwhelming confidence, found itself completely neutralized, 5 vessels trapped in spacetime isolation fields, 7 more stripped of propulsion, the rest surrounded by human ships demonstrating capabilities the Kurvash had only theorized. Incoming transmission from the Kurvash flagship, Jackson announced on screen. High Commander Vorix appeared, his copper-plated skin now dull with what Chen recognized as the Kurvash equivalent of pallor. How is this possible? Our intelligence indicated your species had barely mastered interplanetary travel. These technologies should be beyond you. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Your intelligence was incomplete, Commander. Humanity learned long ago that appearing less advanced than we are has strategic advantages. We've been watching the stars and preparing our defenses for generations. Vorix's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of agitation. What are your terms? You will withdraw from Earth's space immediately, Chen replied. The Kurvash Imperium will acknowledge Earth and its solar system as sovereign territory, off-limits to future expansion, and you will provide full data on all spacefaring species you've encountered to facilitate peaceful contact. After a long moment, Vorix inclined his head. The Kurvash Imperium acknowledges these terms. We will withdraw immediately. A wise decision, Chen said. As a gesture of good faith, we will release your trapped vessels once you've cleared our orbital boundary. As the transmission ended, Chen felt the neural interface begin to adjust, preparing to disconnect. Captain Dr. Rice approached, concern in his eyes. Your readings are still abnormal. We need to get you out of that interface. Chen nodded. The system is already initiating disconnection protocols. The changes will reverse once I'm out, and the fleet will return to standby status. The neural connections began to withdraw. Chen felt a strange reluctance. For a brief time, she'd experienced perception beyond human limits, commanded power beyond human understanding. Returning to normal consciousness felt like a step backward. Interface disconnection complete, the system announced. Thank you, Captain Chen. The neural nodes retracted into the chair, and Chen felt herself returned fully to her body. The expanded awareness faded, leaving only her natural senses. How do you feel? Dr. Rice asked, scanning her immediately. Like myself again, Chen replied, surprised to find it was true. The extraordinary capabilities were gone, but she retained the memory, and the knowledge that humanity's place in the galaxy had just been transformed. On the main view screen, they watched the Kurvash fleet retreating from Earth space, humbled by the encounter. The magnificent Titan vessels maintained their positions throughout the system, a silent guardian force that would now serve as Earth's first line of defense. Send a message to Earth, Chen told Commander Jackson. Mission accomplished, the Kurvash have withdrawn. As her crews celebrated around her, Chen thought about her grandmother and the other visionaries who'd created Project Titan. They'd built it to prevent humanity from destroying itself, but in doing so, they'd created the means for humanity to take its place among the stars, not as victims or conquerors, but as equals to any civilization they might encounter. What happens now? Patel asked, excitement tempered by uncertainty. Chen smiled. Now we prepare. The galaxy just got a lot smaller, and humanity just got a lot more interesting to our neighbors. Some will come in peace, others won't, but they'll all know one thing. What's that? Jackson asked. That humans protect their own, Chen replied, and were full of surprises. With that, Captain Maya Chen looked toward the stars visible through the vast observation dome above the command center. For the first time in human history, those distant points of light didn't represent the unknown to be feared, they represented the future to be embraced on humanity's own terms.